everyone, welcome back. This is Lynn and you have reached the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast. This is episode 18 and we are in the end of April. It's been a way too long since I podcasted last and I apologize for that. But as usual, sometimes life throws you a series of random events that includes school break, which would have been more fun except for the boys were sick the whole time. So we've had doctor's visits. I've had a few doctor's visits myself, which nothing is seriously wrong, but resulted in a few more separate appointments. So that took up a lot of my podcast time during the day. And we got a brand new puppy. So we have a new German Shepherd puppy, Riley. If she comes back in the room, I will pick her up to show her to you. She's not so little anymore. She's 23 pounds now in about 12 weeks. And I'll hope to put some pictures in the beginning or at the end so you can actually see her. But she's adorable and quite puppy mischievous and chewing up anything and everything. And right now she's trying to get to the cat who is hiding in the mini blinds. So she's trying to figure out how to get into the mini blinds also. I can hear them. But anyway, you're here, and this is a knitting, crocheting, sewing, crafty podcast, and I welcome you. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you find something that you enjoy and inspires you. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for being here and supporting me and being a part of my little Knitty show community here. I have an FO this week. I have some Knitty Bits. I have some Happy Hooker bits. I have some acquisitions, gifts, and I have hopefully a spring cleaning project that's part of my big shawl that I want to do the end of the year. So I need to start that. So I brought that out so I can get some motivation to get that going. And the biggest thing, I have a new Kal, and it is going to be a group co-hosted Kal, so I will tell you all about that, but it's going to last most of the summer, and there's tons of details and lots of fun things to go along with that. So I will tell you all about it, but let's get started. So my finished object is, and this will be, I guess, the Knitty Bits. We'll do the Knitty Bits first. My first finished object is a pair of socks. These are my Glacier Socks. The yarn is the color Glacier from Unplanned Peacock, and they have come out adorable. I'm still on the fence if they're a little too long. They do fit my feet. I did them 60 stitches and did toe-up cast on with Judy's Magic toe-up cast on. And I started this time, I cast on 12. Cast on 12, 24. 12 on each needle. I can do this. And then increased until I got 60, and then 60 on the foot, fish lips, kiss heel, and 1x1 rib with the stretchy bind off from Very Pink Knits, which it's nice, not too flare. It didn't flare too much on these ones, so I like that, and it's very, very stretchy. The second I try these on to take a picture of them, the dog attacked my foot, and not just a puppy bite, I want to nibble you, that smells fantastic, what is that, I want to eat it, and she snagged the yarn and pulled, she didn't break it, but pulled one loop like all the way out, and I nearly lost it. But I was able with I just took a embroidery needle and kind of pulled it back through all the stitches. And I hadn't washed it yet, so then these have been washed. I didn't block them, I just hung them to dry because I didn't want to stretch them out at all. And I love the blues in here. Just does it remind you of water? It's my favorite thing. So they're okay. I probably couldn't even tell you which one it is. So I have a finished thing. Yay! So the problem being now is I don't know when I'm going to be allowed to wear my wool socks because the dog apparently thinks they're food. So I can't just wear them around the house anymore until we break this puppy biting thing. Hopefully this passes and she does not want to eat wool socks for the rest of whatever, because then my rest of my wool socks will be gifts for everyone else. And I'll have to start making myself hats. So this was the Unplanned Peacock label. I had this much left out of a 50-gram ball, and so I have a whole another 50 grams. I only used half a skein on those socks with heels, cuffs, and toes. So that was pretty exciting. So I have some of that more beautiful blue that I can put into something else. And I have something for minis. So that was exciting. Hold on one second. Puppy potty break. Okay, I think we're good now. She's got a toy. She's been out. We'll see what she can get into. Come here, you. You want to say hello? Come here, come here. Oh, you're a big girl. Oh, you're a big girl already. Who's your big girl already, huh? Can you say hello? Hey, can you say hello? Hi. Hi. Who's your pretty girl? Oh, you're gracious. Thank you for the kisses. All right, go get your toy. Yeah, she's getting pretty big already. Hello? I don't know where you put your toy. You just dropped it. No. Okay. She successfully dropped it someplace in the fray of the podcasting. Where did you put it? It's under the chair. Here. Here's your toy. Okay, we can... Back to some knitting. And I just forgot too, I was so excited about my finished object that I forgot to tell you where you can find me and about the show notes. So I am on Ravelry and Instagram as Sunshine Bubblegum. I am on Facebook and Etsy as Sunshine and Bubblegum. And my show notes and links to different projects and yarns and things that I talk about will be down below here in the drop bar on Etsy, on Facebook. No, YouTube, right here on YouTube, and also on Ravelry. I do have the Sunshine and Bubblegum group with all of my show notes listed there, and we have an introductions thread, and sometimes our cals are my cals are posted there, and other giveaways and such. So I think that's everything. Okay, back to knitting. Okay, I have one more knitted thing. This is a whip. And no, I have two more knitted things. And this is my shawl that I've been working on. And this is the Show Me Yours shawl. And the yarn is, the pattern is by the Unapologetic Knitter. It's on Ravelry. And the yarn is Roses at Sunset by Kiwi Pop Studios. And the red is Vermilion. The variegated is the Roses at Sunset. The charm is Where I Was Last Time when I was showing you this. And it is a piece of pecan pie by the Gnome Knitter. And this is absolutely adorable. And looks pretty darn real and edible. I love it. I hadn't gotten too much done on this because this was my after school knitting when the boys had an extra class on Monday, Wednesdays. And since we've been out, I hadn't gotten to sit and do it, but I am still super excited and in love with this project, and I'm happy that they started back because today will be my day to knit on this again now that they have their classes back, and I would still like to finish this for Mother's Day, so I have to get going because there's a few weeks in there, and this will be for my mother-in-law. I have found the ball bands, which I did not have last time, so here is Kiwi Pop Vermilion and Kiwi Pop Roses at Sunset, and this is her sock base, and it is 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, and 10% nylon. So it's got a really nice, neat drape. The texture, feel of the yarn is a little different than just a straight merino, and I'm looking forward to when this is washed and blocked, how it drapes and feels afterwards, because it's been really fun to work with, and those are on my size 5 Chowgu, US size 5. Is that what I got? Does it not say it on here? It does say it on there. Yes, it's a 40-inch cable, 3.75 millimeters, or US size 5 on my brand new Chowgu needles. And that's the yarn all caked up. It's so, so pretty. And there's the vermilion. So this is my first shawl, and I am needing to get back to it, and I actually can't wait because it is very It's a 4-row repeat where you're doing your increases, and it's very nice. Just knitting, conversation knitting, unless you're doing the in between the color rows with the eyelets, then you have to pay attention a little bit. But the rest of it's just pretty nice and relaxed. I don't know where the dog is, but she's not making noise, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so for my last Knitty Bit today, I have cast on my Fleur and Feathers socks. This is a kit that I did with the beautiful Kayleen of the Littlebean Crochet podcast, and she is Littlebean Crochet on Etsy, and you can find all of her hand-dyed yarns. She is a little, I think her podcast might be the Littlebean and Me, and her yarn is Littlebean Loves. So this is the Fleur and Feathers colorway. It is a self-striping sock yarn, and it came with a cream base for heels, cuffs, and toes. And this is a kit that we did together, and hold on, I can show you the whole kit. And it comes with a project bag. It comes with a feather stitch marker, which I will show you in a second, and then it comes with the self-striping yarn. And I have a few kits left, and I believe Kayleen may have a couple left too. So if you're interested in it, there's some available still. So this is how it works up. And I forgot how much fun self-striping yarn is. So this is the feather stitch marker, and I will move it now that I've gotten to show you this, but this was just it shows me with the toe up where my front is. So on the front, it's making solid 3-row repeats. On the back, it's really neat. It's kind of where the color changes happen, and it's also making the stripes, but you know, some are 4, some are 2, and I think it's really neat how it's got like its own pattern, and it's pretty cool that it's so far stayed on one side too. I love it. For these, I was trying a bit wider toe. I cast on 14 on each needle. So I started with 28 stitches and then increased up the sides to 60 stitches. So another trick that I don't know that I mentioned before, but Robin from the Cherry Pearls podcast had told me about it. When you're increasing, you knit the first stitch and then increase, make one front and back on the second stitch, and it gives you kind of a really neat little edge border. I don't know if this, and I did do this on the other sock too, so it gives you kind of a little knitted board, like solid, and then you have the increases and it gives it a little detail. It's kind of cute. It's really neat. And I tried something too with weaving in the yarn as I went. When I first did the toe on the cast on, you go around once, and then again, this is Judy's Magic Toe cast on. I held the when you get back around to the beginning yarn and you have your tail and your working yarn, I held them together and I knit as long as I could, like the front side, back side, holding twice. Until I had used up all the yarn, so I didn't have to weave in the ends later on the cream. And then I did that again, and you can't even see it. I did it again with the pink. When I started the color, I changed colors, went all the way around, and then I held it twice the second way around, the end and the working yarn, and so I have the yarn already woven in. So all I have left to weave in here is just the white, one string of the white. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. It made sense to me when I was doing it. But I forgot how much I love self-striping yarn, because you just like, okay, so these are getting me every 3 rows. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do the blue. I'll do the 3 rows. Okay, oh, okay, I get a little more time. I'm going to do the next blue. Oh, okay, I'm going to do the pink. So you just, it goes fast. It goes fast. So I'm enjoying this. I think with these, I'm going to try an Afterthought cut-in heel. I know I like the look of the Afterthought heel when I did the my first pair of socks, my Time Traveler socks with the Felici. I used the Time Traveler yarn, and I did a cut and heel for the stripes. I did Susan B. Anderson's Afterthought heel. And it was a little fiddly, but it was my first time doing it. And with these, I will be using the white for the heel. So I'm not so much worried about the stripe of it. So I think I'm going to try the Kirby Werby heel. I think that's one of the heels that we all, was in the list when we all were talking about our favorite heels and toes and cuffs. So I'm going to knit, 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 and then I will cut in the heel on these later. Is that a little scary? That sounds scary. But I realized after the fact that you don't just like lay your yarn flat and cut it. You put in your needles where you want it to, and then you snip in between and pull out the thread so that you have ends to weave in. Made me feel a little better. But the other thing I heard someone talking about, and this might be obvious, but it wasn't quite obvious to me, was that when you do contrasting heels and toes, and you do like a short row heel, or maybe even the cut-in heels, if you wear out the toe or the heel, you can then put your needles back in, unravel the toe, and re-knit it. And I don't know if that's true for everything or just in like the cut-in. Like maybe if you cut in your heel and then added a heel, you could then go back and replace it. But whereas if you do like a heel and gusset, you wouldn't be able to just cut it out. So that's kind of interesting. Not that any of these socks have gotten worn enough that my heel's coming out. And at this rate, they have a better chance of getting chewed apart by the dog than me wearing through them, because they take forever for me to knit, because I am a slow-ass knitter. But this one's going pretty darn fast. This is going pretty darn fast, because I finished the other sock and got this one cast on, and I haven't worked on my shawl at all. So this has been kind of my doctor appointment knitting for all of the visits we've had in the past few weeks, which have been way too many. And it's just in my little flower bag. This is one of my bags. And it's super soft. It's gotten ridiculously soft and squishy because I throw it just right in my bag all the time, my purse, whenever we're going anywhere. It's kind of become second nature, and I love that. That like I'm thinking of like I need my keys, my wallet. Where's my my sock? Where's my knitting bag? That's gonna go in my purse. Like you upgrade your purse so you can fit your knitting in it. So that's really fun. And it's kind of, I thought it was funny. So how about some happy hooker bits? So I have done absolutely nothing on my blanket that I talked all about blankets last time. I don't know. I just haven't been in the mindset to sit down, and I have the first cast on row done because I had done that for the podcast, but I had not gotten my mind around working on another large blanket. And I apologize to my sister. You will get your blanket. I promise. I promise. I still have a goal of your birthday for this summer, so I will get on that. But I had another girlfriend from a high school friend, has a cousin and a friend that are expecting babies, and she asked if I could do a couple small gifts. So I am working on some things. So this is a little lamb hat, and this pattern is from Repeat Crafter Me, and I think it's just called her lamb hat, and it's got two little lammy ears. Let's see, yeah, and little like ear flaps and braids, and this is a crochet bobble stitch, and this is a free pattern. I believe I know it's for sure, it's on her website, repeatcrafterme.com, and it is Sarah Zimmerman, and it might be on Ravelry. A lot of her patterns are on Ravelry also. The dog is up to something, but she's being quiet about it. So that's one little lammy hat that got finished, and that will be a gift. And then the second pattern is going to be a little lovey, and so it's going to be like a mini. This is almost done. I'm going to do a couple more rows of the white and then a gray border, and then I'm going to do a little elephant, like a little stuffy elephant head with the trunk and the ears that will go right on the top. So this will just be a little snuggle lovey, something to chew on. And that is hopefully going to be done soon, so I can get those out to her. And the yarn I'm using is I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. It is an acrylic, and it's very soft. I like working with it for gifts and for baby stuff. It can be washed. And this is Gray Mist, and this is white. And the hat was also done in white, and I forget the color of the pink. I don't think I had the label for that anymore. I just had a little left from another project. But that was also Hobby Lobby. And I am using a size US I, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook for the blanket. And I think I used J. I used a J on the hat. That's what the pattern called for those big baubles. So that's what's going on in Crochet Land. And this is just a granny square. And I've done a color change in the gray, and the pattern I'm using for this is the elephant blanket, the elephant comforter, and it's by Christine Harvey, and I found it through Pinterest, and the website is letsgetcrafting.com. So I'll link both of those crochet patterns down below. And I'm hoping this might be done and mailed out before I podcast next, but I will take pictures to share with you of how it came out all finished up. So those is what the Knitty Bits and the Happy Hooker Bits that I have going on right now. Boop, boop, boop. So let me show you what I want to do for some spring cleaning, and then I will get into the Cal that's coming up. It's going to start May 1st, and I will show you some ridiculously spoiled acquisitions that I received as a gift. And then I have a couple new bags that'll be going into my shop. So the project I'm going to show you, this is part of my spring cleaning / repurposing. This yarn is going to get washed and hopefully relaxed because it's been knit up for over 7 years in this unfinished project. And it is this pattern right here. It's by Plymouth Yarn. It's called the the Royal Llama Silk pattern 1300, and it is just like a bolero sleeves. I think they call it a shrug. So at the time I was knitting this, I was living up in Massachusetts, and I was the grocery manager, and I spent a lot of time in the cooler and freezer section of the grocery. And I was making this so I would have just sleeves to throw on when I was running into the freezer and refrigerator, and I didn't have to put on like a whole sweatshirt and big bulky because there wasn't a lot of room in there. And this pattern was I think it was for a silk yarn, but I made mine out of a wool because I wanted it to be very warm. This has a ridiculous amount of animal hair on it, so I hope you can't see that. So it's knit all in one piece. And then you seam up the side and pick up for the collar and then join it. So as you can see, I have a darn good lot of this done. I was going to make it like 3/4 length sleeves. I really enjoyed it for about the first sleeve, and then it got put down. Something else caught my fancy. I don't know, but I have 5 balls of this yarn, and I think I've used, looks like I joined new yarn here, so I've used 1, 2. So I have 3 more balls of this yarn. And I may have used some for a hat for my husband that he doesn't wear because he didn't like how thick it was. So I'm going to unravel this. I have no need for a woolen shrug down here. I don't really like the pattern anymore. Not that the pattern isn't cute. It's not me anymore, and I don't want it, and I would never wear it. So this is coming out, and I want to show it on here as part of the spring cleaning, hold yourself accountable motivation that I get from doing this podcast, that I know if I show you guys, then there's a little bit of accountability that I have to follow through and get it all done. So I hope to unravel this. I want to probably use 2 chairs in the living room and kind of just try and skein it up. And I think I'm going to wash it and then just drape it over my laundry rack and let it dry. And hopefully get some of the kinks out, because let's do it right now. I'm assuming, and let's see if my assumptions are correct, because this has been Big fat needles. Look at the needles that have never been used in 7 years. It's very sad. Okay, so, yeah, it's a bit kinky, as we would all have imagined. So, I would like to have that relaxed. And the goal, and this is Patton's Classic Wool Merino for knit, crochet, or felted products. Color is chestnut brown, and I do love the color. And 100% pure wool. This is going to be the main color in my Ohm shawl. And I will show everything again once I get to casting on the Ohm shawl, but I have a kind of a coral, kind of a tealy mint, and I believe a cream that I got that's going to go with this. But I've been admiring and in love with that pattern. It's a giant wrap shawl. Almost looks like a big rectangle blanket when you got all these button combinations. So it could be a jacket, it can be a cowl, it can be a shawl, it can be all kinds of things. But it's going to be super warm, and when I go and visit my family in the fall, when I go up, like we usually do for our family trips, I will have that to wear. I can wear it on the plane, I can wear it around, and it'll be my coat and my warm. So that is my big project, and that has to happen first with the, and then the wrapping and the washing and the hanging. So that's going to happen. Okay, let's talk about Kals, because this is super exciting, and I hope everyone's paying attention and listening, because this is kind of awesome. So I think I mentioned before, I have been doing a couple virtual knit nights. I think we've had like 3 or 4 now with some other podcasters, and getting to know people in the community, and I absolutely love it. I've met, virtually met 3 or 4 new people. Well, I guess 7 altogether through this that I didn't know in the past year, and now I've gotten to meet and know. And these lovely ladies are Jenny from the Lucky Jenny Knits podcast, Candy from the Pause for Stitches podcast, Jen Sheelen from the Jenn Sheelen podcast, Lacey from the Knitted Cupcake podcast, Sarah from the Hooks and Books, and our newest member of this group anyway is Amy from Amy's Knotted Knits. And then there's me. So yeah, there's 7 of us. So we have just been chatting. We have a text going. We talk about patterns, yarn, life, all kinds of goody stuff. Festivals that we want to go to. Some of these girls are meeting up at Rhinebeck this year, which is super awesome. I know a couple of them are going to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival in a couple weeks. And it's been amazing. So we were all talking the other day about projects that we want to do for this summer and what's next on our needles, and we were talking about wanting to do like lightweight summer tops. And I said I was going to host a Kal for it, and a couple of the other girls said, oh, that would be great. I'd love to do that too. So we decided, let's do a big giant Kal, and we'll all host it. And then we had to figure out, how do we make that happen? So we started talking about time frames. What would we like for a time frame? And at first we were like, maybe 2 months. And then we said, well, we're pretty slow knitters, so we don't want to push ourselves. This is supposed to be summer. It's supposed to be relaxing. So let's do 3 months. So the slow knitter started getting tossed around, and we decided that we would be the Slow Ass Knitters Club. Sorry for the bleep. Hope ass isn't too bad of a word. That's my mom coming out, because she used to say, you know, when she says shit, we would be like, oh, Mom swore. Like, we never swore in my house. So, you know, little swears to me might be way bigger than they are to other people. But anyway, now, you know, as an adult, it's kind of funny, but still. Back to the knitting. So we are the Slow Ass Knitters Club. We have decided that we wanted to create a single group just for the Kals to make it easier, so you're not going to all the other podcast groups to try and figure out who's this. You don't have to enter it everywhere. You can enter your finished objects in one place. So we've created on Ravelry the Slow Ass Knitters Club, and I have written it down because it's $2 signs for the $. And I will link that below too, and I'll link that in my show notes on Ravelry as well. If you would like to come over and join, you do have to join that club to be part of the prizes. So that's the club. And what we're going to do, there's 7 of us. I think 5 of us are hosting this particular Summer Cal. But the idea is that we are going to do seasonal cals throughout the year, and we having 7 of us, we don't always all have to host it. But there'll be a big group of us that will host it, so you have the chance for 5 prizes this round. So this round, we are doing a Summer Top Kal. It's going to start May 1st. It's going to go through July 31st, so you have 3 solid months to do a lightweight top. And the only restrictions are it has to be a top. Whips are allowed as long as they're no more than 50% done as of May 1st. We prefer like a lightweight top. It can be a long sleeve or, different variation, but we're not looking for a heavy worsted weight chunky wool sweater. We're trying to get like a lightweight top, maybe exploring using different fibers. I am hoping to use a linen cotton blend, I think, is what I'm leaning towards. I've knit with cotton, I've knit with bamboo and silk, so I'm going to look around, but I think I want to try a linen cotton blend. I've heard linen is very tough to work with on its own, but the fabric, once it's washed and everything, is really beautiful and drapey. So I'm thinking of one with a blend of cotton might be really nice to try. So that's the idea, a lightweight top. It can be for a child or an adult. And if you have any questions, we have opened a introductions thread and a chatter thread in the group already. So please come and introduce yourself. Come and start the chatter. Come ask questions. Come post some pattern ideas. Come post yarn ideas. I am looking for some yarn ideas. I think I'm leaning towards the Knit Picks. I think it's called Kotlin, which is a cotton linen blend, just to try it. That way I'm not out too much money in the beginning, because I know there's some really beautiful, expensive ones. But I'm also still a little bit on the hunt for patterns. I have a couple to show you, but I'm not sure if I'm sold 100% yet, because there's so many beautiful lightweight tops. Who's hosting this one? Okay, so your host for this round will be Jenny, Lucky Jenny. It will be Candy from Pause for Stitches, Amy from Amy's Knotted Knits, and Lacey from Knitted Cupcake, and myself. So there will be 5 hosts for this Cal, the Summer Cal. And what we are going to do is we are going to pick throughout the 3 months, pick prizes from the chatter thread, and it's going to be spontaneous. You won't know, what the prizes are or anything. But I think what we will do is when a prize has been picked, we might just leave a message in the chatter group saying, "Hey, I picked a prize. The winner is on my podcast," and then you can go check out that particular podcast to see if you were one of the winners. And at the end of we will post an FO's thread. There will be 5 grand prize given away. Each podcast will pick a grand prize winner out of the group of finished objects, and we will make a compilation video for everyone to see, and you'll get to know who the winners were, and we'll let you know with links about that when it's done. So I think this is going to be super awesome. I don't know if anyone's tried or done this before. I know there's lots of people that have done like 2 hosts, and someone has chatter, someone has finished objects. But we're super excited. We have been going crazy all week trying to plan this, and I hope that you are all really excited and might come and join. That would be awesome. We already have 35 members, and we hadn't even finished setting up the page. So the details are up there now on how to get started and all that good stuff. So please come over and check that out. As part of the Super Summer Cal starting, Jenn Sheelen, who is one of the overall hosts of the Slow Ass Knitters Club, has a new pattern out, and it is called the Chelsea Bean Shawl. and I don't have a picture of it right here because I am not as organized as I thought I was, but I will put a picture of the shawl either in the beginning or the end because I haven't figured out how to put them in the middle yet. I'm on a new system as far as editing my podcast. But Jenn Sheelen has a beautiful new shawl. It's called the Chelsea Bean, and it is in honor and in love of her new bulldog, Chelsea Bean, who has come into her life. It is a two-colored shawl. The way she has it done in her pattern, and it's up on Ravelry, is with kind of a speckly variegated and then more of a solid. So it's great for, you know, like a mixed variegated or speckled yarn and then a solid contrast yarn. And it is a triangle shape. And I think I've decided that when I cast this on, I'm going to do it in my Teeny Button Studios Cheesecake on a Stick in Chicory, because this will give the contrast, but this will also kind of fade and melt, and I think, I wish I had the picture, I'm sorry I wasn't. It's got like solid chunks that go into lace that go, and there's different sections, but I think it would go really well with like a faded color shawl also because of the lace and the different textures. So I'm thinking that using these two as mine will kind of, it'll meld and yeah. So that's my idea when I get to cast that on. I just was thinking, she showed me the pattern, and after racking my brain, do I want something very contrasting or something with all these beautiful fades going on right now? And I think that is going to be the perfect fade for that pattern, and I'm really excited to try that out. But after all that blubbering, Jenn has gifted one of you a copy of her pattern. So to win the copy of her pattern for the shawl that you have no idea what it looks like because I can't show you a picture because I'm not organized, I will set up a thread in my Sunshine and Bubblegum Ravelry group, and the prompt will be what fiber would you recommend for a lightweight top? If you've knit with one, a different fiber that you like, or if you haven't knit with one and you'd like to try something that's not wool, what would you knit for a summer garment? What yarn would you use? Does that make sense? Okay. What yarn would you use for a summer garment? If you've either tried it already or haven't tried it and would like to try it, or maybe just have an idea from different things that you've seen, what would it be? And I will pick a winner for that pattern prize. So thank you, Jenn, so very much. I'm in love with this pattern, and I'm glad that I have the yarn in my stash to knit it. I don't even have to go buy anything. It's here. It's right up there. You can't see it, but I have a little tiny stash. You can see the bottoms of the little tiny stashes up there. I love my tiny little stash. I have like 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 skeins of yarn in my tiny little stash, which means those need to start getting knit because I have 9 balls of yarn that don't have anything beautiful to be yet. Anyway, okay, so thank you, Jenn. Thank you, Jenn, so much for graciously sharing this pattern with everybody. Again, in my Ravelry, Sunshine and Bubblegum, will be the link to win that pattern. The Summer Slow Ass Knitters Summer Kal information will also be below with a link to the group, so you can just go right to the link and come over and check it out and join in. And there's also a hashtag, which I don't know if I'll be able to put here or not, but it will be down below in the show notes if I can't put it on the screen, and it'll be SAKSKAL 2017. So, Slow Ass Knitters Summer Kal KAL 2017. Because we're going to hopefully do this every season. Yay! Okay, so let me show you a couple patterns that I was thinking about, and I have, you know, I'm going back and forth. But this book is Warm Days, Cool Knits, and I purchased this a little while ago. The author is Karina Ferguson. She lives, I believe, in Florida. And this is the first pattern that I was thinking of. It's called the Leora. What I like about it is that it's a little longer. I'm very short, so I think that cropped topped or shorter cut sweaters tend to cut me in a weird place. I love the lace detail on the collar. Focusing. I love that lace detail. What I don't really like about it is the sides, which I'm sure I could just do stockinette. It is very pretty, but the sides there have the lace detail all the way down the side. And I just don't know how I would wear that because I tend to not be... I don't know if I have any undergarments that would go well with that style shirt. So I guess I could not do the lace down the side, but then you're kind of losing a really pretty detail to it. But that one is done in a cotton linen. No, that one is done in 100% linen. Okay, so then the second one I was looking at is the Dorothelia. I hope I'm saying that right. Dorothelia. And it is another beautiful top. It's more of a wider neck, higher collar, lace on the top and lace on the bottom. Now, I love everything about this except for the length. So I'm thinking that I could lengthen that and still, you know, obviously still have the detail. I'd like that one with a longer body. But I guess I'd have to try it on before I decide where I'm going to stop because I'm being very short. Who knows if the length of that may already be long enough for me. But because I'm knitting it myself, I can adjust it the way I want, right? So the only thing about this one is that this is knit on a wool, llama, silk, and linen. And the gauge is way different than the linen one on the other page. So I don't know. If anyone knows about swapping a cotton linen blend for something that's way softer, such as a merino llama silk with a tiny bit of linen blend yarn, I guess I'm going to have to just go for some gauge swatches here and check it out. Because I don't want the wool. I don't want the wool in the summer in the south. I don't think I want that at all. So I might even, you know, hunt around for a few more patterns, but those were the two that were on my list because I would like a lightweight top that I can wear with skirts or shorts, you know, dressier or kind of just casual. But that's what I'm thinking of. So I'd love to see in the chatter group, start tagging some pictures, start tagging some yarn, and come on over and join the fun. Yay! I'm so excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. And speaking of summer overall, I think as last year happened, I started podcasting towards the end of the summer. It was, I think, maybe July or August is my podiversary. I have to look it up. So having the boys home all summer, we are going to have camp in June and July, and we may be taking some road trips. So, but I know when the boys have camp, I'll be able to podcast. I have 3 more weeks of school, so I plan on podcasting one more time. But my podcasts might not be every 2 weeks. They probably will be every 3 weeks, maybe once a month over the next couple months, just because of school and having the kids home and figuring out when I can podcast without major interruptions. So I just want to let you know that might be the norm for the next few months. And then hopefully we can get back into it on a more regular every 2 week basis. But I'm hoping that I can finish lots of things to show you. And obviously through the group, we'll keep up together over the summer. And there may be, please follow me on Instagram, because Instagram will probably be the easiest way to contact me, show me things, anything to do with the Kal. I'll probably be posting on Instagram, as well as, you know, we'll all be posting in the Ravelry group, but Instagram will be a great way to follow me and any of the other 5 ladies. And that information is on the Ravelry group too, all of our Instagram names, and I am Sunshine Bubblegum. Okay, so now I have some acquisitions, 1 that I purchased and 5 that were a gift from a girlfriend that went to Ireland. So let me start off with the 1 that I purchased. Boop, boop, boop. And this is the Knit Picks Felici worsted from Knit Picks. It's the fleecy worsted, and it's in the Baker Street colorway. And I saw this in the socks, and I missed it the first time around in the socks. If it comes out in the socks again, I will be getting this in the socks for sure. But I was thinking this would make an amazing hat, and I believe it's the same. It's still a superwash merino nylon blend, which is interesting. So you'd have a really sturdy hat, I guess. Mary over at Cherry Pearls podcast made a small baby hat out of this, and I have to go check out the pattern because I think it used some slip stitches, so it wasn't just solid stripe changes. It had some, you know, looked like a little color work because of the slip stitches in it, and it was really neat on the color changes, and I liked it a lot. And also, Sherlock Benedict Cumberbatch is my boyfriend, my TV boyfriend. I'm allowed to have one TV boyfriend, and that is him. And this is his colorway, and I had to have it. And the blues and the grays and the brown, and these are kind of my colors. I don't know if that was a little obvious there, right? Like giveaway. So I got that to try, and that was my one tiny splurge on myself for the past few months. Like I have, like I said, 8 skeins up there and other projects that I'm doing, so I didn't really need anything, but kind of needed that in my life. And if they come back out with that colorway on the socks, I will also be needing that in my life. Just because. So, a very dear friend of mine, I didn't ask her if I could talk about her name on the podcast, so I won't say it right now, but went on her anniversary with her husband, and they went to Ireland. They went and stayed in Dublin, and they went on all kinds of beautiful excursions and sightseeing, and had a lovely time. And I mentioned to her, if you run into a yarn shop, here's a list of things. Here's a list of indie dyers. Here's a list of types of wool. Like, if you got me a ball of yarn or a skein of yarn, because she's not a knitter, so I said ball of yarn, I would love you forever. I would love you forever. And I contacted Barbara over at Knitting I Love, because she's out in Ireland, and unfortunately she is very far away from Dublin, from where she lives with her her husband. But she told me about the This Is Knit in Dublin, which was 15 minutes away from where my friend was staying, and she went out one Saturday morning and got me some yarn. And I had mentioned that if she found any hedgehog, like hedgehog from Ireland would be epic. And she did find hedgehog, and she said the ladies in the store were very nice, and I'm sure they were. I said, of course they were. They're knitters. You're in a yarn store. Everybody's nice in a yarn store, and every knitter is nice. Like, of course they were going to be gorgeously awesome. And she sent me pictures of the store, and it was beautiful, and I was so jealous. And I was also asleep while she was there because it's like a 6-hour time difference. But she got me my very first hedgehog fibers. And this is hedgehog fibers from Ireland. So it's super extra special awesome. And it is in this is the sock yarn, 90% superwash, 10% nylon. And it is pheasant. This is in the pheasant colorway. And I'm so glad I have the window right here, because that is like perfect, spot on brick reds, dark oranges, like some coffee browns. Oh my sweet goodness. This is beautiful. And when she sent me a picture of it, it looked super red, like in the photo. And I was like, wow, that's a really bright red. What am I going to do with that? And then it got here and I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, that is gorgeous. What am I going to do with that? So this alone would have had me like owing her big time for God knows what, because I don't go anywhere that exciting, and she doesn't knit, so it's not like I could just get her a ball of yarn and skein yarn and we'd be even, you know, like, oh, I went here and got you something. So I'm going to need to make her something. She's definitely a knit-worthy person, for sure. But again, we live in Louisiana. We're getting into the summer. It's been 80. I don't know if it ever stopped being 80. We had like a few cooler weeks, 60s and 70s, and some cold, like I think maybe 2 cold weeks. But it's already 80 again, so it's really hard to knit for friends down here. So I'm going to think of something special to make for her, and hopefully with some of these beautiful yarns. Okay, so 1, enough to owe her for a lot, right? yeah. So then she got this is Townhouse yarns, and I believe from what I can tell that this is dyed exclusively for This Is Knit, or specific, like these colorways are dyed for them. I don't know if this is an in-house exclusive yarn or not, but this is their Grafton 4-ply. It is 80 superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and hand dyed in Ireland by Jenny. Jenny, this is beautiful. This is so bright. It's like an iris purpley, orchidy purple, and it is called Hocus Pocus. I think these would probably be socks. They've got these pops of blue and purples and like magenta, fuchsia. Oh my goodness. It's so bright and so colorful and so gorgeous, and I love purples, and it reminds me of spring, like all the spring flowers and my favorite lilac trees. So I don't know. This could be a shawl, but I don't know which one yet. But I love this. I love this. So that was the first one. And this is the second one. Again, this is Townhouse Yarns. This is hand dyed in Ireland by Jenny on the Clarendon sock. And this is an 80 superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And this colorway is Dazzle. And I think this is like the high twist. I don't know all the correctness, but I believe that's a high twist. And this is more of a light speckly. There's blue. It looks like a cotton candy. Look at those. Oh my goodness. So it's kind of like, oh, these can go together. It kind of bothers me a little bit that this is a high twist and this isn't, but I don't know if knit up, if that would make much of a difference. But that could be really pretty together. Look at it, it's like greens. It's got all the speckles. It's got like all the speckles. Oh my goodness. Okay, right? So then this happened, and this is the one I showed on my Instagram. Again, Townhouse, hand dyed by Miss Jenny. This is it says Fade Street 4-ply, but I believe it's actually, I think it's a single ply, hand spun. Well, not a hand spun, but like a single ply. And this is 70% superwash merino, 30% silk. And the colorway name, and I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's O-I-C-H-E. Is that coming in? But look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. Look at that blue. This is like a deep navy royal goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm definitely in love with that. Yeah. That's kind of like speechless. And the piece de la resistance is again another Townhouse Yarns. Hand dyed by Miss Jenny in Ireland. This is the Camden Tweed. So this is 85% superwash merino and 15% Donegal nep. Made with real Donegal. This color, this teal, with the Tweety Bits. The Tweety Bits. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, right? And this one's called Troy. T-R-O-I? Troy? Tory? Troy. Gorgeous. Okay, right? So, one, I owe you something fabulous. 5, WTF. I told her, I said, what do you want? A kidney? One of my kids? Take one of the kids. Take the dog. I don't know. Like, oh my God. Best friend in the whole world. And I don't think she understands, like, how, like, blown away I am. I told her. I mean, I offered her to take one of my kids. Not that I'd really, like, you know, she didn't really want one. Maybe just for a minute or two, but. Oh my God. So I need to think of something really special. I don't know that she watches this podcast. But I'm thinking maybe I'll try and make her a Christmas ornament out of each one of these to remember her trip. And have something like, you know, something made from me. I just feel like I know that she'd love that, and I love that idea. I just don't know if that's enough to repay her for her kindness, because this is, Amazing. Amazing. So Amy, if you are watching, thank you. So that was all of the love, I guess the handmade with love. It was the gifted love from Ireland this week. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. So thank you. Let's see. I think that's about it. I have a couple bags that I wanted to show that are going in the shop this week. I had two collaborations over the past month. The first one that you saw was the Fleur and Feathers kit with Kayleen, and there are a couple of those left. The second one was a popsicle bag that was a collaboration with Robin from Teeny Button Studios and Joanna from the Gnome Knitter. And those went super fast, and we are working on getting together another project. That collaboration, I will be hopefully posting about it soon. Robin will probably be talking about it on her podcast, and on Instagram. Instagram will be the way to go, and hopefully the next episode, before the boys get out of school, I'll be able to show you what that is and have more details on time frames. But we're shooting for that to be out in May. And a couple of single bags, new design or new fabrics, I guess, that are coming into the shop. They'll be up there probably Friday. I have this adorable cactus bag, and it is the sock size bag. It has complimentary little bottom there with the polka dots, and the polka dots are on the inside also. So those are adorable. And dun da da da, this one, I know there's a few people that have been waiting on these. They're the little Neko kitties. And Robin had gotten some of this fabric with the kitties and had asked me to make her up a bag out of it, and I did. And a lot of people were interested in it, so I had to order some more fabric, which I have done. I finally found the complimentary fabric that I had found the first time to match it. And these will also be up in the sock size available. I may have a couple of these ready to actually ship, but if there's a lot of interest, I can just put up a pre-order and I will ship them as I can get them sewn up, which, you know, only takes a few days, but if I have a bunch, it might take a few more. So those two will be added to the shop. There are a couple bags, and again, the Fleur and Feathers kit still up there. And I think that's about everything that I have for today. So glad to be back here with you and sharing all of my stuff and getting back on track with my knitting. And I do need to get back on track with my crochet blanket for my sister. I need to get that brown shrug wrap sleeve thing unraveled and wound up and reskeined and washed and hung and relaxed. And I need to finish that shawl. So I have a big to-do list. Oh, and I need to find a pattern and yarn for the Summer Top Kal. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope something here inspired you. I hope you are feeling crafty and go off and do something fantastically crafty and knitty with your day. I will talk to you soon. Again, check below for any notes and links to all of the blathering that happened today, and I will talk to you soon.